For those about to rock, we salute you.
Seeking a woman.
Person.
They better watch out who they're being naughty to this year.
Man, I'm really getting hot.
Yeah.
Hand right here, please. Put in my hand. Thank you.
You are in violation of quarantine protocol.
Guys, I'm not feeling so good.
Asking all Ontarians to stay at home and only leave when absolutely necessary.
With vaccinations coming and everyone getting vaccinated, we're definitely in line for a much better summer.
Circumstances we're facing. I know what this means for people to be here over a year into this pandemic. I know that businesses are struggling to stay afloat.
Greater restrictive measures.
This is not your run-of-the-mill situation, and sometimes very unusual situations like this require unique and unusual activities.
The projections show that we could save, of the several 100,000 lives that are projected to be lost in these months ahead, 50,000 of those would be saved if we had high mask compliance.
Whoa. What happened?
Be easy, son. You've just been through quite an ordeal. You're just coming out of a coma.
Oh, thank God. I had this horrible nightmare. The government, they mandated an experimental medical treatment, and they were employing all sorts of psychological manipulations and social pressures to force people to surrender their sovereignty. You were there.
Just stay calm. You've had a terrible reaction to some Cobra water. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, who knew a side effect of cobra venom was going comatose?
What day is it today?
Just stay calm. It's gonna be okay.
No! What day is it?
It's June 1st.
Gus? Mustang? We've got absurdity to observe.
What do you got? Hey! Guys, I got a car!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another edition of The Absurdity Observer with your host, Mitch Verrigan.
Oh yes, we made it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Woo! People and gentle persons. It truly is a beautiful day to be alive. I can say that now, having had a near-death experience. Yes, we'd still like to thank last month's sponsor of the show, Cobra Water, but as it turns out, I had a violent reaction to the cobra's venom very shortly after filming. My month was spent inside a perpetually revolving nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. Sound familiar? Well, there's nothing like a mainline dose of truth to snap you out of a coma.
worry, Mitch. If you don't wake up in time, I'll host the show. I won't let you down.
Although my Uncle Gus certainly had his heart in the right place, I just could not in good conscience let him host the show. I love the attention too much. So with that, let's begin this month's edition of the Absurdity Observer, brought to you in part by Jackalpox. The only cereal that bites back. Yes, children especially will love Jackalpox. Inside, you'll find over 3 different kinds of antibodies, including one that's pre-mutation, ready to fight off any and all variants that might come your way. Especially kids under 5 will love this mix of dehydrated banana, olive pits, and uncooked rice. Who wants some Jackalpox? I have to admit, after being in a coma for a month, I'm starving. Oh yeah. All right. What did I say last time? For those about to rock.
We salute you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry about that, Jackalpox. They're a little spicy for me. Now, this first headline was part of my comatose nightmare. Doug Ford's PCs managed to win the most votes out of the 43% of Ontarians who casted a ballot. With only 43% of eligible voters casting a ballot, that means 57% of eligible voters had no confidence in their government. Instead of this being a big red flag for their own performance, for Doug Ford's PCs, it's a landslide victory.
Boo.
A factory in Kingston, Ontario, Canada Royal Milk, that received $225 million in taxpayer money, is sending all of the baby formula it produces to China, while Canadian parents struggle to find it. Now we check in with friend of the show and milk mustache expert Mustang Tim, who I'm told has been struggling to find baby formula out on the town tonight. Mustang?
Yeah, Mitch, I mean, we were supposed to go see the new Top Gun movie, and Jolene can't find a sitter. I mean, this baby, we gotta get this baby to sleep, or I mean, we're not gonna get any alone time here. And we've gotta find some baby formulas. Do you have that address for the factory in Kingston that has the baby formula? Please, thank you.
Okay, so Mustang, is this a first date?
Well, actually, we met at the auto wreckers, but if we don't get this baby asleep, we're not gonna get any alone time together. So just, can you send that address, please?
Sure, Mustang, but first I have a few more questions.
Battery low.
Okay, Mitch, my battery's dying here. These live chats eat up a lot of power, and just, if you could just send over that address, that would be super, thanks.
Jolene seems like quite the mother. Is this her first child?
Well, actually, yeah, and she just gave birth about 3 weeks ago. But never mind. Can you just send the address over, please?
Battery low.
Well, congratulations, Mustang. I had no idea, you sly devil.
No, it's not mine. Just never mind.
Battery low.
Just send the address.
But does Jolene know who the father is? Mustang!
That's just great. Come on. You know what? Just forget it.
She lights my desire like a big old bonfire.
Oops! Looks like we lost him. I guess we'll check back later with Mustang Tim. Now it's time for you to employ your critical thinking skills while I read 3 headlines, one of which is not true. Before we begin, though, we'd like to extend a big shout out to last month's winner, Rhonda Levitt, for guessing last month's correctly. Although I think everyone who commented got it right, Rhonda was the first one to respond. Way to go, Rhonda. You can expect your free Faraday glove just as soon as they arrive, and just as soon as we need them to cover up our microchipped hands. In the meantime, drop us a line with your address and t-shirt size at studio@druthers.net and we'll send you a free t-shirt for playing. Okay, here's this month's headlines. Make sure you listen carefully. Tim Hortons camps are requiring children with a 99.9% survival rate from COVID-19 to get vaccinated to attend camp.
Absurd.
Unvaccinated Ukrainians will be exempted from all vaccine travel mandates and will be allowed to both enter and leave Canada freely. The Trudeau government has announced Canada now requires digital identity documents and biometric data like facial recognition for pre-aircraft boarding requirements. Okay, make sure to comment your answers below. We've all heard of monkeypox fact checkers. Well, next month's lucky winner will receive a free monkeypox back checker. Don't know what that is? Good for you. Well, this handy little device works so you can easily see those pesky pox that are hard to reach. Now in other news, NASA scientists plan to launch pictures of naked humans into space in hopes of luring aliens to Earth. Yes, more American tax dollars at work. But who will they consult in choosing which photos to send? And what is an alien's type? Well, last month, one of our reporters had his phone confiscated while attempting to cross the border to meet a woman he matched with online. And with that, we learned that he had a lot of experience taking nude photos of himself.
Why would anyone put a picture like that?
I can't believe it. Did he use a mirror for that shot or what? Like, how do you get that angle, man? Oh my good God. So now for the naked truth and all things alien, we go live to Mustang Tim's apartment where he is not expecting us. Mustang?
She lights my desire like a big old bonfire, making a mark on me every day. Hey! What are you doing, Mitch? We're very funny. I'm just really tired of this invasion of privacy stuff, man.
Do you think your photos would entice the aliens?
What photos? We would just get lost, all right?
Is that a monkeypox back checker?
Hey, just forget it.
Thank you once again for another riveting report, Mustang Tim. Now, honestly, everyone, before I went into my Cobra coma, I've heard the radio talk show hosts talk about how sick and tired they are of anti-vaxxers. Well, first of all, I'm sick and tired of being called that. And secondly, I'm sick and tired of trying to get any pro-vaccine people to engage in a more nuanced conversation. One where they acknowledge the facts that are not being reported by the legacy media. What's truly absurd about attempting to do this is it doesn't matter how you approach it. It doesn't matter if you come from a place of love and care when you present certain facts that don't align with the popular belief because of the relentless government-subsidized media. They stop listening and lash out. Recently, I asked a lawyer why this happens, and Maurice Gatien from Cornwall, Ontario, broke it down for me.
I want you to remember this. He said, if the law is against you, argue the facts. If the facts are against you, argue the law. And if both are against you, attack the character of the other person. And you could have heard a pin drop for about 5 seconds as we sort of naively digested this. He said, no, I don't want you to do that third thing, but I want you to be aware when it's used against you.
I'd like to thank Maurice for talking with me. There will be more from our hour-long interview coming to the Druthers page soon. And now, all 16 runners who collapsed and a 32-year-old runner who died after suffering from possible cardiac arrest at the Brooklyn Half Marathon said they were vaccinated. The 16 vaccinated people who collapsed during the 13.1-mile race were taken to the hospital, according to the FDNY. 5 remained in serious condition. They blamed the death on the heat, despite it being only 70 degrees Fahrenheit when the race ended at 9 a.m. That would be about 21 degrees Celsius. Oh, I'm told we have new field reporter Tintin on the scene with the winner of the marathon. Tintin.
Yes, it's Mitch. I'm here with Gus.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like, people are dropping over left and right.
Oh, that's good for you. How old are you?
69 years young.
You look good. Is it the first time you're winning the race?
Well, actually, I wasn't registered in the race. I was just out for my morning walk.
Okay. Thank you, Tintin, and congratulations, Uncle Gus. Man, I hope I'm in as good a shape as he is when I'm 69. You know, not everything that has come out of COVID is bad. Like, take for example, the death of the handshake. Personally, I don't feel bad about that one. It was about time to update this archaic form of greeting each other. You see, the handshake started during a time when we all carried long swords and daggers and needed to extend our hand to say, "I mean you no harm," to prove that we didn't have ill intent or were concealing a weapon. Now the weapon is what might be on our hands, so the custom has changed, and I say, good riddance. It used to be called glad handing, but now it's called attempted murder. Yes, it's about time the culture changed, because for years I was uncomfortable with this notion that we should mash together the things that we used to wipe our asses with, all in the spirit of being friendly. Now, no longer is it a diss if you ignore somebody's extended germ-riddled claw. No, now you can simply shrug and say, COVID. That's what we do now before assuming the chicken stance and rubbing elbows together. And that doesn't make sense either. I mean, for years, weren't we told to cough and sneeze into our elbows? It makes you think, doesn't it? It's for all these reasons and more that I prefer the hug. You're actually able to avoid the line of fire should a sneeze erupt, and you get immune-boosting hormones at the same time. It's a win-win. Yeah. Let's hear it for hugs. Now here's something else that makes you think. In a bizarre recommendation, Shanghai University is asking its students to appear for swimming tests online. Shanghai University cited the ongoing COVID-19 lockdown as a reason to conduct the virtual swimming test. The institution asked students who had yet to complete their 50-meter swimming test before graduating to do so from home, leading Chinese students to post videos of themselves diving into their beds wearing swimming goggles and a swim cap. Oh yes. Oh yes. For more on this now, I'm told we're going to a live feed of someone who is in quarantine that is currently in the middle of their swimming test. I'm not sure if I'd hire that lifeguard. Now it's time to read some mail. All right. This first letter comes from one of our detractors, to whom it may concern. I am writing to express my deep frustration over your newspaper, druthers. As an educated student of science, I find your newspaper laughable. Sincerely, I thank you for providing me for such comedic entertainment over the duration of this worldwide pandemic. If anything, your paper points to a failing of the education system. Obviously, you have a right to express your views, as do I. I want you to know that people disagree with you. I disagree with you. You may live in this bubble of nonsense, but to the average reader, it is clear your paper is simply profiteering off fear and misinformation.
Oh my God.
Quite frankly, I wouldn't care what nonsense you write, but it keeps on being left on my doorstep. Which is extremely annoying. However, in retrospect, I am very glad that you have continuously graced me with one of your extraordinarily rare copies of your paper, because at least it keeps it out of the hands of someone who might not know the correct uses for your paper, comedic relief and kindling. Signed? Not signed. As an educated student of science, you'd think this person would know the difference between kindling and paper, but hey, whatever fuels your soul and warms your ice-cold heart. It's okay with us, you crazy kook. Okay. Well, I figured to add balance to the force, we should read one from somebody who is pro-druthers as well. So, here we go. This is, it says, Dear Mr. Sean LaPlante, enclosed is a donation towards the publication of Druthers. I have enjoyed reading your paper and saddened to hear that your funds and account are frozen. Still. It is so disgusting and wrong what the government is doing. They do not care about the people or their welfare. It's all about government compliance and control. Continue with the good work that you are doing, We will stay strong and united against this tyranny. I have attended rallies in Kelowna, Osoyoos, Kamloops, Penticton, and will continue doing so until these ridiculous mandates are lifted. A freedom fighter, Mary Lee. Thanks very much, Mary. So, one distinguishable difference I noticed while reading these is the people who write negative mail commonly type theirs out and don't sign them, whereas the positive letters come handwritten, full name signed, and in a lot of cases, they send donations to print more papers.
Coming from the heart.
So you see the difference in the size of piles. This is the negative pile. I read 2 last month. There was 1 left, and that was it. Here's the positives since we moved in. You see, Druthers is 100% donation-based, and every dollar donated goes directly to printing more papers. They cost 10 cents, so if you donate $1, we print 10 papers. And thanks to your help, we've printed over 4 million copies of Druthers in less than 2 years. We couldn't do it without you. Make sure you subscribe to get your copy of Druthers delivered each month, where you can read about all the absurdities. And if this program has informed, inspired, or simply entertained you, please consider sharing and subscribe for all new episodes and content. Also, if you have a story that you'd like to share with Druthers, please email studio@druthers.net. Okay, that's it for The Observer. Keep learning, keep loving, and keep on observing. And be out.